Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is KJ, and I am back with a, unfortunately, Post Comm for my Week 2 match. My Week 2 opponent originally was able to play on Wi-Fi, but then that person left the league. So they ended up getting replaced by somebody that could only play on Showdown, unfortunately, and that is the sort of weirdness of being a hybrid league. But hey, next season, everything will be fine. Everything will be different, so there's nothing to worry about there. We will have only Wi-Fi battles, and I will foreshadow that we did have some technical difficulties with my Week 3 match, but it is what it is. But that said, going into this match, we're 1-0 with a +1 differential, and this team that we are facing is scary as fuck. They have quite a few ways to set hazards. They have a lot of setup. They have anti-setup with Ditto. They have a good amount of bulk, and they have one of the scariest mons in the format with Tera Dragonite. So Dragonite Tera is either flying or normal, which again, both pretty scary, but normal was the scariest. So you'll see the squad, and I did leave the EV spreads out just because I didn't want to sort of reveal those, but this is the squad. So when I looked at this matchup, I immediately thought, okay, Iron Bundle does really well. There's Gallade does well. I really liked Garganackle. I really liked Decidueye there. And then we also have a couple of other things here with both Rotom Fan and Kingambit. And I'll get to those in a few minutes. So below is actually the team that I thought he was going to bring, and it actually ended up being the team that they brought. So that was cool. But yeah, so I'm pretty interested to see. I was pretty interested to see, okay, how is this going to work? So I started off when I was building, and I was like, all right, Dragonite is the scariest thing. So I had Scarf Gallade to Revenge Dragonite. I had Decidueye to basically put us in a spot where they had, if they were going to be using it to hit things other than with extreme speed, they were going to be taking Rocky Helmet Chip. I did have Iron Bundle, which I thought Iron Bundle was really solid here. And honestly, the way Iron Bundle operates, it's usually just Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, maybe setup, maybe a way to pivot out, and then you just kind of move on from there. And it's okay, now you have your sub or your taunt or anything like that. So with this particular set, I thought Iron Bundle being able to just sit on the field and click buttons was great, so I opted for sub. But you'll see what happens. So yeah, Gallade was scarved, and I thought that was pretty solid. Rocky Helmet, Decidueye, we were super bulky to be able to live hits from things. And also, Decidueye does a really great job of walling Tauros, which is something I was really scared of. So I thought that was really good. In hindsight, I should have probably had a better way to deal with Glimmora. But again, we'll get into that. And then I think the only other big things were my I won't say win con, but I was thinking, Garganackle, Iron Defense Body Press Garganackle does really well. So I wanted to make sure I was able to set that up, and I wanted to try not to set it up too early unless I got a good opportunity. So that was something that I was really okay, I need to make sure I don't do anything crazy. But again, you'll see what happens. And then we've got the Rotom Fan set, which Rotom Fan I thought was really good in this matchup because it was faster than Dragonite and could easily burn it if it tried to set up in front of it. That was kind of my thing. I wanted to make sure that all of my mons had ways to sort of deal with Dragonite if it was trying to set up in front of them. And so I thought Decidueye will be able to just hit it, Gallade will kill it, Iron Bundle will kill it, Garganackle will really start to chip away at it and break the multi-scale, which will be nice. And it also can live a hit, so that was really good. And then with Rotom Fan, I'd be able to burn it. And then with the last mon on the team, Kingambit, I would be able to at least hit it and do some damage. So that was kind of my thinking with all of this. I kind of just had to make sure I didn't lose to Dragonite. That was my mindset going in. I was like, don't lose to Dragonite and everything will be fine. So just kind of moving on to go through the rest of it. I did have Electric Terrain teched on Rotom Fan just in case I had a free turn and I was able to click it to set up to set up the Iron Bundle a little bit better, and we weren't speed boosting there. I think we were, if I remember correctly, we would have been boosting special attack. So there was that. And I went with Defiant because this team, like if we look at this team again, there are, I think, 3 Intimidate users. Yeah, Arcanine, Tauros, and Crocodile. So I was like, yo, I am definitely gonna have Defiant here just in case. And I wanted to be able to bluff Sucker Punch and stuff like that. So there was always that too. So yeah, overall, I thought this team was pretty well prepared for whatever my opponent could bring. I was still in the back of my mind thinking like Ditto could be a problem, or even breaking Knuckle Stack is a little annoying. That thing is kind of a low tier demon, but overall I was like, all right, I think we got this. So I will catch y'all in a few minutes with the actual game itself. So all right, so we are back with the matchup, and so like I said, they did end up bringing the team that I more or less thought they were going to bring, and we're gonna go through this kind of relatively slowly, and I'll stop when I'll stop to sort of talk through some of my plays. But going forward here, so they immediately said they didn't expect the Rotom fan, so they lead Glimmora, I lead Iron Bundle, and I didn't think they were gonna stay in, so I actually tried to sub. I thought that they were gonna end up letting us just kind of go ahead. So I subbed, and in hindsight, if I had flip turn here, I would have been able to flip turn out, but I expected maybe they would Sludge Wave again. And now at that point, so right before this Earth Power, I was thinking, okay, they're either choiced or they're sashed. So I was kind of thinking they were sash, and here I kind of let my King Gambit lose a lot of health, and I probably shouldn't have done that. That wasn't the greatest of ideas, but we do get rocks up, so that's nice. And they can't Mortal Spin them away because we are a Steel type. So going forward, I was like, all right, this is good. But now I'm thinking, all right, what's my sort of next play? So I go into Garganacl because I'm like, all right, this should be pretty good. We should be able to we should be able to resist what their attacks are going to be, and we should be in a good place. So they actually go in Mortal Spin that time, which is unfortunate because now not only do they get rocks up, we're now sitting here and they don't have rocks on their side of the field. So I decide, you know what? I'm gonna go with Iron Defense Body Press. Let's try to use this to break. And so we start up doing that, and honestly, I didn't expect them to go into Rotom here, but I was looking at it, I'm like, I'm +4. Like, this is gonna hurt, regardless of what they do here. So I didn't really care. I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of this Rotom Mo. I did not expect the trick, and I should have. But we were still in a spot where Body Press just starts erasing stuff. So Garganacl gets a kill there with Body Press, and honestly, Rotom Mo was one of the biggest problems for me, especially with the team that I brought. So I was actually okay with that. This, I think I should have and could have played a little differently, but we were choiced into Body Press, so I was kind of okay with just bringing Glimmora down to its sash, especially because I have quite a few things that are sort of faster than Glimmora, so I was okay with it. But I did want to keep Garganacl around because I thought it still had some value. So I do sack King Gambit here. And again, I don't think I played well with King Gambit here at all. I think King Gambit had quite a bit of utility here and could have done a lot of damage, but I kind of fumbled it away. So now I go into Iron Bundle, and I'm thinking, okay, I get a kill here. This gave me a free switch in Iron Bundle. I'm pretty happy about it. Again, in hindsight, kind of wish I was Boots. We would have had more HP. We wouldn't have been poisoned. I did not really think about it all that much. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I have Decidueye, which has Defog, and there's still a Scream Tail, which kind of gives me a couple of free turns. And he does bring in Scream Tail, and he does Light Screen here, so I know that at least there's screens. And this was a prep fuck up because I should have been faster than Scream Tail. I didn't think that they would run max speed Scream Tail. I did not expect that, and kudos to my opponent because yeah, that was something I was not expecting. So now they go into Crook, on this, and I'm thinking, okay, if this isn't scarfed, like, eventually, like, we're gonna get this defog off. I was like, this isn't gonna be able to kill us. I know we live this, and if this isn't then scarf, we're gonna be able to get like a free hydro pump off too. So we do live, and we had a ton of bulk. So, and I will say something that did kind of make me mad is in chat they posted the calc. I think this was the case where they posted the calc, and that like really frustrated me because I was just like, really, dude? But we get rid of the screens, we get rid of the hazards on our side, and we're in a really nice spot now. Even though we're sort of still having the Dragonite, like the Dragonite is scary, right? So there is that, but yeah, so we are bulky with the bundle as well, and we do get a hydro pump off with them having the evasion lowered from defog, so we're in a good spot. And I think it might be this might be the case where they posted about it. But yeah, like I said, we were pretty bulky. Like this entire team that I brought, with the exception of Gallade, was like incredibly bulky because I knew that I needed to be able to live hits from Dragonite and not really worry too much. But this was actually pretty clutch because they brought in Screamtail here, and I knew that this was my opportunity to recover. And yeah, there's the low roll thing. They calced it as if I had no defense or HP, and I had quite a bit of investment. But yeah, this was huge because we were able to get a and you can see I'm frustrated in chat, but we were able to get a recover off with the Garganackle. And I think the Garganackle in that particular moment, I was thinking, okay, Garganackle is huge. Garganackle, I was like, is gonna be able to click Salt Cure and make sure that Dragonite is never at full HP. So I really wanted to preserve Garganackle there because I thought it was just gonna be really important. And so now with me going into Rotom and then them going into Dragonite, I was like, all right, cool. We're in a spot where we can burn this thing. So we go ahead and we try to do so. But we missed the Will-O-Wisp, which is unfortunate, but also like it's Screamtail. It doesn't really matter that we would have hit it, but they do get up both screens. So this is starting to get a little scary because Dragonite behind dual screens is terrifying. But I will say one of the nice things is we have Salt Cure. And Salt Cure is going to be able to... The damage that Salt Cure is going to do is going to be after the fact. Like, it's going to be after the move hits, because it's residual damage. So, that was really nice. And they do T-Wave into Garganackle, but we do have Purifying Body, so that doesn't matter. And so, now, this is nice, because I've now seen Screamtail's entire moveset, and I can abuse this thing. I'm looking at it like, okay, this thing is... I can definitely take advantage of the fact that this doesn't have any way to hit anything. So, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I need to burn Tauros, I need to burn Dragonite, and then Salt Cure can just whittle them away. Like, that's really it. Like, Salt Cure is going to do a ton to Tauros, and we can, like, there's not an issue. We put these things on a timer. So, now I go back into Rotom Fan, and I'm just thinking, like, Rotom Fan comes in and lives an attack, and we can just continue to Volt Switch out, try to burn stuff, like, go from there. So I was pretty happy about that. Like, at this point, I'm thinking, all right, Screamtail's in, I can just burn this. If anything else comes in, I get a burn on any of the two physical attackers, I'm happy. So now we are kind of in a spot where they're going to continue to set up their screens, which is okay. And again, I'm just thinking I can continue to get Garganackle in and click the Salt Cure. Like, I can continue to click Salt Cure and I'll be fine. So I'm pretty happy about this. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because we do go back and forth. We go back and forth a little bit. So they baton pass. I go ahead and I believe I click Salt Cure here. So yeah, I do. So now I'm at a spot where Dragonite is never going to be at full health because it's being Salt Cured. And we can go into Rotom Fan. I think they DD here. And I don't think they would have been... Like, I think they roost on this next one. Oh, no, they don't. Okay. they switch out. So at this point, and that makes sense, because at this point, they don't know if I'm Scarf or not. Like, obviously, I'm not Scarf. Like, y'all know that, but at this point, they don't know if I'm Scarf, so they might think that I'm faster. So in hindsight, they're playing around Scarf Rotom, which is smart. They did say after the game that they thought while playing that Gallade was Scarf, and they keep clicking the moves, like clicking T-Wave and stuff. I was never bringing Gallade in on this. Like, I was not bringing Gallade in until the Dragonite was at the very least burned. So that was kind of my thing. I was like, Gallade's not coming in until Dragonite's burned. But we do get rid of the Scream Tail, which means now things are on more of a timer. And I know they do have Reflect and Light Screen up, but it's all good because Rotom is faster than Tauros here, which is nice. And we do get the burn. So at this point, we just have to make sure that we can kind of stall out the Light Screen. But it's looking good for us, right? And also we have Salt Cure, and we're able to Salt Cure things down. So the Tauros bulks up, and I'm going to speed this up a little bit again because we're able to Salt Cure, and with the burn and everything, we're able to just kind of chip away at this thing. I was really scared of Tauros because it is a mon that I've used in the past, and I really enjoyed it. But the fact that Rotom was faster than it kind of made it, like, put us in a spot where Burn and Salt Cure was going to be able to get rid of this without a problem. And yeah, like, Raging Bull there did nothing. Like, it did 18%, so that was not a problem at all. I will say, I do wish that I had a chance to recover with Garganacl here, because that definitely would have been nice. But honestly, using Salt Cure there and being able to whittle away the Dragonite, I think was really nice. And I think they were trying to make sure that they had to outspeed the Gallade. So that's why they DD'd again, which was the right play, because they thought they were playing as if it was Scarf, and it was Scarf to be able to, at the very least, speed tie. And I assumed that they were adamant, so there was that. But overall, I'm like, okay, this thing's burned. We're able to Salt Cure now. Like, this isn't a problem. I was like, I'm just gonna keep clicking Salt Cure. And I believe that they were supposed to be Tera Normal, but I think they ended up bringing the wrong Tera type, which is unfortunate. I do feel really bad about that. Like, and that's why they didn't actually end up, or at least I think that was the case. It might have also been because they just were worried Gallade was gonna be able to kill. But yeah, so here on the Roost, we go into Gallade, and at this point, Ice Punch just kills. Like, so they Extreme Speed, and if they were Tera Normal, that might have killed us, which would have been problematic. But yeah, so we won there, and we do end up getting the 3-0. And yeah, Gallade picks up a kill, and we're in a pretty good spot. So at this point, after the end of week 2, there are 3 undefeated teams. Me, my week 3 opponent, and the homie Killawaboom. If I said 3-0 teams, I meant 2-0 teams. But yeah, so that was the game. Again, not as exciting as Wi-Fi, but yeah, I appreciate y'all. This has been dope, and I will catch y'all on the next one. So hopefully that'll be fun to watch. But all right, everybody, take it easy. Peace.